Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Hey, welcome to Calm
Hello.
Reviews.
Bonjour.
We finally saw another bloody anime.
Yes, we do. This is the first one we've seen all festival, isn't it? And the last one.
Well, technically,
Oh, no.
Big Fish and Begonia, but it will be the last one.
Oh yeah.
Well, we will be seeing more animated films. We're essentially because you wanted to take your girlfriend to see Wicked.
Which was amazing, by the way. Absolutely incredible.
We have to do 3 vlogs in one day.
That's okay. We can do that. We've got time. We're professionals, so that we can cope. We're trained to cope with these situations.
But yeah, no, we saw this yesterday at BFI South Bank. It's playing one more time today. The Prince Charles Cinema.
Oh, the one that we went to see.
See the Cures. Yeah. Which it's great being back there. We did a different screen this time. Didn't get the big theatre that we did for Big Fish and Begonia.
Yeah.
Despite the fact this was a UK premiere.
Yeah, it really wasn't that many people there actually.
I was kind of disappointed by that.
Yeah, quite a few unfilled seats. There wasn't really any applause before or after. Well, I mean, before we arrived a little bit late, unfortunately, but not really any.
I'm kind of glad the whole applause thing has kind of disappeared from cinema going at the end of things. There's just certain films that you think that film would not deserve an applause if it got one.
Well, yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I think like an event like a film festival or a premiere, I can understand the.
Yeah. Although I dread to think that someone's clapping at the Transformers films.
What do you mean? The Transformers films? Anything Michael Bay touches?
Stop! Don't. This is going on YouTube. Don't say anything you can't take back, even in joking.
I love Michael Bay.
You will be thrown out a window in a minute. I can't even jokingly say. I can't even joke about that. That's how much I despise his films.
I'm sorry.
And yet, for some reason, I still and for some reason, my job means I have to please see him because he makes a lot of money.
Anyway.
I'm so glad the rumour that he had Sonic the Hedgehog turned out to just be a rumour. He's nothing to do with Sonic the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, thank God.
Coming out in 2019.
We saw Live a Wall. It's basically, I thought it was based on a manga. It's not. It's a completely original concept, which is useful. And I actually mentioned about this. I spoke to a few of my anime friends yesterday on Facebook after we saw it, and I was saying this is one that's worth checking out. Here's a clip I found of it online. They used some promotional clips from YouTube, and they one of the clips like they do for most films. And one of the clips they did was that scene at the beach.
Oh yeah, with
the band playing, and because I think that's a good demonstrator of what you're getting with this film.
Yeah,
that's where clearly the most amount of money has been spent on the film.
Well, the dancing animation.
No, not just the dancing animation. There's the animation and the art style in general. But that scene particularly highlights it. And of course the soundtrack as well. Yeah,
it's incredibly unique for what we're getting for an anime. I think one of the first things I actually picked up on is just it's very non-traditional style. I feel like they probably use programs to emulate the body shape and consistent animation throughout. But that was really interesting. I thought it gave it a very unique look. Not really comparable to many other anime that I've seen. Really, and in the areas of sort of high tension, high action, a lot of things happening. They like to, and it's a technique that I mean, probably the best example I can give is one from like Naruto around like the pain arc, the Naruto v Pain fight, where they really sort of distort the body shapes and the facial expressions and in a way to sort of emphasize movement and reactions and emotions basically, and I think that's a really interesting thing to note, is the fact that it really takes a unique take on a unique stance on animation and expressing feelings and things.
However, this is a film, not an art piece. So, what did you think of the film overall?
Overall, I mean, assessing it via like normal standards, I would say it's alright. It's a good one to watch. You know, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. But I wouldn't say critically it's like it's a massive success. I think it had really interesting ideas, but I think the way it went about narrating the story, the succession of scenes wasn't really massively fluid.
For no pun intended with this film.
Yes, yeah. But no, it was good. I enjoyed it, but I'll go more into detail later.
I liked this film.
Yeah.
I like this film. I like it a lot. I like it. Has some I like the interesting visuals. I like the story. I like the story. I like the characters. It's just genuinely very good film, and the animation's fantastic. The soundtrack's really good, and suits the film pretty well. I think the thing I'll say about the film is, you're not getting anything new.
Mm.
You're getting nothing new with this film.
Mm. Yeah, I didn't really notice anything innovative. Well, nothing innovative, but nothing groundbreaking.
You know what you're getting with this film.
Yeah, yeah.
You're getting you know what you're getting, and it's nothing that hasn't been told before. But that being said, I've always had this thing that people have said, "Oh, well, if it's not original, then it's automatically bad." And that's not the case. It's how you do it. It's a case of you can take an idea and still work with it, and what the idea that does, at least it does that idea very well.
Yeah. It's kind of a whimsical one, isn't it? Like it's basically it's a story about unifying cultures that are alien to each other, music obviously, dancing and bringing people together.
Kind of think it's basically Little Mermaid meets Footloose.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's also quelling racist ideas as well. I mean, to a certain degree, I think.
You know, that's an interesting thing about the Japanese culture in that regard.
Yeah, so
because they often they're the first culture to admit they have a troubled history where they like to really atone for it with their arts.
Mm.
You get a sense of that with the way that they even kind of make them. They often can make themselves look like monsters in order to make a point. It's actually it's one of the things I find rather admirable about the Japanese culture, that they are willing to own their past in a way that I don't think we do. I don't think we own our past in the same way that they do.
I mean, I'd dispute that. I mean, like films like Gandhi, I'm pretty sure we own up to the whole colonialisation.
Oh yeah, I grant you with that one. I just said I don't think we do it in as much of a way, and especially now. I remember how long ago Gandhi was.
Yeah, I mean.
There's that brilliant story about Richard Attenborough's second director when he was because there was like so many people they had to. I think this is on a DVD extra in QI, which I'm probably going to repeat now. But apparently there were so many people, so Attenborough had to direct it from the actual crowd. You can actually see if you pause clips quite well on those funeral scenes, you can actually see him. And he said, he was so we could go to a second director, right? You've got to go to these people that Gandhi's gone. It's their messiah. It's the biggest event in the whole of India, darling. And that was weird. Yeah. And he was going to this whole spiel saying, and you've got to say he's died. This is so huge, and you've got to all be very emotional. And he gets on the second director gets on the megaphone, and goes, right, listen up. Gandhi's dead. You're all fucking sad.
But should we go through the synopsis a little bit, because we haven't...
Yeah, the synopsis is kind of an interesting one. It's basically this emo...
kid from Tokyo, parents have split up, dad...
moved to the sort of seaside town around sort of like a rather Hokkaido-looking area.
Where his dad grew up, and it's sort of a large fishing industry, think Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. And everybody either grows up and moves to the city, fails, and then comes back, and inevitably lives in this fishing town. Or
they choose to stay in this fishing town forever, or they actually get successful in the city. It's one of those three. There's no middle ground.
Yeah.
But there's kind of and he's kind of a bit down in the dumps because he doesn't know what he wants to do in his life.
No, but he's a very talented music maker.
He
doesn't really let people let on.
Yeah, and he's brought to his friend's band practice at one point. and
like Merfolk Island.
Merfolk Island is what they call it because there's a lot of mermaid legends.
Yeah.
Around this town.
There's kind of so there's within like local religions and things. There's legends, there's stories, and like people have a sort of animosity and hatred towards the idea that there are merfolk living around. Some people believe they exist, etc. So they go to a band practice on Merfolk Island. And do you want to continue?
Yeah, it's kind of like they go to this practice. One of them storms off during the vocals, and then it turns out this small mermaid basically starts singing along and makes really. And it turns out she makes really amazing music because it turns out the mermaids are
like sirens. Like I think it's playing on the whole legend that mermaids and sirens like lure you to your death through their singing. Basically.
Although it's kind of a reverse in this situation. It's more the mermaids are drawn to the music rather than make the music to draw people to them.
And the interesting effect that this sort of music has is that it really makes people want to dance, and that's a big thing that they sort of play on throughout. So
it's basically, as I said, it's Little Mermaid meets Footloose.
Yeah. So I mean, like it's really stupid dancing. So you cut to a sequence of like the protagonist just dancing in really outlandish ways, like
but that being said,
I mean, it is really funny.
It's really fun, but I will say though, I will say the soundtrack is one of the best parts about this film.
Yeah, because it's really inventive. It's really unique, and it is all about pretty much making music and promote.
I'm glad
understanding this completely alien race.
I'm glad music anime is kind of making a comeback.
Yeah, because you're a big fan, aren't you?
I'm a very big fan, and I felt like it was kind of it either gotten very generic or had kind of started disappearing because there wasn't many shows like Beck and K-On, and now we've had this, Anonymous Noise, and even Fuka to an extent. Though that series I have my own problems with.
Yeah.
What I also found amazing is this is another movie that's an original work.
Oh yes, it's not based on anything as well, is it?
Which I'm finding amazing that I mean, it's obviously the Japanese studios are starting to take more chances on original work because they've seen the success that Your Name has had.
Yeah.
And they kind of know now. I don't think they want to slice of that pie. I think they now know an original idea can make a lot of money. Which is which is brilliant because I like the idea that more original ideas are going to make a lot more money. I like the idea that people are going to take a chance on these original ideas. And how do we respond? J.J. Abrams is producing a remake of Your Name.
Live action remake.
This can only end well. He says sarcastically. We'll talk more about that in Anime Amigos on Wednesday.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this film, I just found myself really enjoying myself. But that being said, I knew when I was watching it, I know exactly where this film's going. I know exactly what it's doing. This isn't really challenging. It's not challenging me in any way.
It's fairly textbook. I mean, the whole idea of challenging the barriers between cultures and beliefs is not it's one that's
and the environmental messages and shit like that. It's very 90s in that sense.
It's one that's always been addressed, and the only sort of differences between this, I mean, if it was produced in the 90s, the only difference would be smartphones really. You could very easily have this film without smartphones and just throw it back to the 90s and it probably could.
Put it this way, if this film had been an American production, I would have said this sort of film would have been made in the 90s, not.
Yeah, it would have been probably been a low budget American production in in the 90s.
But that being said, I felt like it had the one thing that separated from those films, which have not aged well, is I think this one had a lot more heart and creativity to it than a lot of those films had.
Yeah, it's just so it's so eclectic and you're not quite sure. You're not quite sure how people will respond or what their reaction will be to addressing these cultural differences and meeting this completely other race. And when it comes to this, basically there's a curse that's on the town because of the way they've treated merfolk in the past. and that's the reason they've sort of faded into legend, because they've been.
It's kind of interesting how they played it with the ending.
Yeah. So like this sort of curse basically takes place and affects the town people.
Which but that being said, I saw for the minute he had that scene with the other band member's grandfather, I just said, yeah, that's going to happen by the end of the film. Yeah. That's just blatant foreshadowing.
Yeah. But. Yeah,
if I had known enough of blatant foreshadowing with Big Fish and Begonia.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, so it does very well in combining the two cultures and how they operate to help each other in that respect.
I want to point out this was half full this morning.
Excuse me, I offered him to see how many he wanted. He said, I only have the one, thank you. So
I don't expect you to go nuts on it.
What did you say? You only wanted one?
I only wanted one for now.
Say that then.
I only wanted one for now. I didn't think you'd go nuts and have the entire thing because
Carl, you've been living with me for 10 days and you don't think I'm going to eat chocolate.
No, I didn't think you were going to eat chocolate. I didn't think you were going to eat most of the chocolate your girlfriend made a big dent into.
She's gone. So anyway, this film,
that's basically free chocolate for you because your girlfriend bought this.
That's a wicked difference. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, you have spent more money.
So, I don't know,
the final thoughts, I think, should we go to?
I think, as I mentioned before, there are a few issues with sequencing and sort of flipping between scenes and settings. Becomes quite difficult to keep track of the story, what's going on, general sequencing of events. Also, a few character issues, but it's nothing to do with. It's
there's the one-dimensional villain that really doesn't have anything.
Yeah, he's not even a villain. It's just to be expected. It's
very nice.
You can't expect like a great degree of depth with this sort of film going in anyway. But the lack of it means that if you're looking for a deeper meaning beyond what it gives you, which is this fairly neatly packaged thing, it doesn't really leave much food for thought after the film. It doesn't really let you.
Will get a cinema release. I don't think all the anime is going to give it a cinema release.
No, probably not. But I mean, that being said, it's worth watching. It's good fun.
Let's assume it's going to get a cinema release. Would you say go see it in the cinema, get it on DVD, rent it, avoid?
If you got kids, take your kids. I wouldn't say bring the whole family. It's more of a kids' film.
You still say see it in the cinema?
Yeah, if you've got a kid that's deeply impassioned by anime and really wants to go watch it, then yeah.
I think. I don't think the typical anime crowd is going to get nothing out of it.
No, of course not. I mean, again, it does have this strange animation style. It is a new one.
Yeah, but I did show a clip to one of my friends on Facebook, and she said she just could not get over the art style. And I told her, I just said, unless the story's amazing, she need the art style. She'd need that to get over the art style. And I told her basically, you're getting nothing new.
Yeah.
You're getting nothing new. This is virtually the exact same films, but it at least does that very well, and I actually enjoyed it. I'd say it's worth seeing in a cinema, but if you need to, you can wait to own it on DVD. I think it's a buy though. I don't think this is a rent because I want to see this more than once, especially considering I'm very doubtful. I think it'll be the only way I'll hear the soundtrack on a regular basis.
True, yeah. But yes, so there are our thoughts. So thank you very much for watching.
We gotta get ourselves together because we gotta go see The Breadwinner.
Yep, and then what are we watching this evening?
The Summit.
The Summit.
Good luck with that one. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and our Twitter handles are at the bottom.
So see you later. Goodbye.
Wait, why do you get to do the